That's
talk about
that.
that.
That's what's interesting about this year. So that 1-2 punch of the market getting put up and the interest rate environment going crazy.
Right.
It's made for some interesting buying this year. Yeah.
And a lot of that, if I may, is kind of tied into with all of the stimulus checks that went out, right? We wrote a lot of, the government printed a lot of money in the last COVID years, right? Because it's really, let's just call it the whole COVID period, right?
Sure.
A lot of money was put out by the government to keep the country going, to keep the economy afloat. And if you want my personal opinion, we never should have seen interest rates in the twos. The Fed went too far in the wrong direction. And what's happening now is we're seeing the correction of that, because there are people who have 2.5%, 3% interest rates, and that's great for your homes, right? It's great for the people who have them. But those are a result of the government buying, the Fed, buying $42 million or $40 million in bonds, $40 billion in bonds, mortgage bonds, every single month for a year and a half. And now they're going to be bleeding them back off into the market starting in July. And that's part of your whole interest rate situation, right? The bond market, they're going to flood inventory. When you flood inventory, prices go down. Prices go down, rates go up. So the thing is, there's not a whole lot of new bonds hitting the market now, because there's not a lot of sales, because the real estate market has slowed down. So the hope is, there's a hope that the lack of new inventory of bonds is offset by the bleed off from the Fed. So we don't see rates go through the roof. Now what it will do is, well, what it won't do is allow rates to drop as quickly as they would if they didn't bleed off the balance sheet. So if they held on to all those bonds, I'm not suggesting they do, they need to sell them, but if they did, then these short-term interest rate hikes continue at the, what's supposed to be 0.5 point in July, I think.
Yep, another 0.5 point.
So if they do that, then that increases business loans, car loans, credit card rates, all the variable rates, but it doesn't really affect mortgages because we're on longer term. It's a different bucket, right? But if that happened, usually what happens, because that stems inflation, is you would see the bond market respond well, and then rates would decrease, usually. Except where we have this influx of sell-off, and we don't know because it's never happened before. We have no idea what the real impact will be. There's no backward-looking measure for us to go, we can say this was what will happen, because it's never been like this before. Right?
Going back to that uncertainty that the market hates, this is definitely another one of those.
Right, so that's part of the reason the stock market is doing its thing. The bond market is a response to inflation and what the Fed is trying to do to stem it. But I mean, forecasts from mortgage experts like Barry Habib and the like, so they're well-known entities in the mortgage industry. They think that by the time we get mid next year, we would hopefully be somewhere in the mid-4s for interest rates for mortgages, which is about right. That makes sense. That's healthy, right? Like our growth, can you slide?
Yeah, yep.
So if I'm in your way, let me know. So our growth last year, in the last 12 months, was 20.9%, right? For equity gains. All of us own and we gained 20%, almost 21% in value in our homes.
That's not normal.
That's not normal. It's not healthy. And it's, while as a homeowner, I'm not mad, it's not helping our cause, right? Because it's keeping buyers out of the market. People can't afford homes. They apply, they get discouraged, they fall out of the market. So we're losing buyers. So you have to make a ton more money. While companies have paid their people more, those people probably, a lot of those people already own homes. So they haven't necessarily improved the buyer base with those raises, right? Because the people who make more, the people who relocated from different tech jobs, they're not your first-time home buyers. So if we get to a healthier growth rate of 5.6, which is still higher than the average, I think, isn't like in the 3 is a normal market, we're still growing well in the next 12 months as a projection, if this is what happens, and this has been the projection for 3 months now, in the low to mid fives. So if we continue down that road, I feel like we're going to be in a more manageable place so that people will get back into the market. right? Because we've seen days on market change, David.
Yes.
From what we